Hey, wake up! It's time to start the show. Glad to see you all aboard Mouse Ears in Paradise. Let's get this show rolling.
Welcome to Mouse Ears in Paradise. I am Dave.
And I'm Becky. Hello.
Hello. All right, so today we are going to be sharing a bit about our recent Walt Disney World phase of the vacation. Well, we talked about the cruise, but after the cruise, we ended up having a brief stay in Walt Disney World.
Yeah, we did 4 nights at Saratoga Springs, which I love. And they've redone it, and I know it's not everybody's favorite thing for the theming, but I think the location is great. It's like the right combination of price, location, amenities, and setup for me. We had stayed, I think we talked a little bit about staying at Art of Animation prior. And it was fine, but this is just relaxing. I've come to the conclusion that I don't really want to be in a city when I am on vacation. And I know Disney World is kind of a small city, but when you're at Saratoga, it feels like you're somewhat removed, right? It's like being in the suburbs. Saratoga is the suburbs of Walt Disney World.
Yeah, because staying at Art of Animation and definitely dense with people.
Yeah.
And then you go to Saratoga and you almost don't see anybody when you're out at the actual buildings.
I mean, the first thing we did was go to the carriage house, and we had kind of second breakfast because we got off
busy.
The boat early, but it wasn't unreasonable.
No.
There wasn't a line to order. It was somewhat challenging to find a table, but I think that was mostly because it was so cold outside.
And we had a large group.
Finding
a table that would accommodate our family was difficult.
But we've had really great luck there. Now, of course, they've got the Murphy beds, which I think are just the most ingenious thing, and I want them to sell them for my house so that I can just...
They do sell Murphy
No,
beds.
I know, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I love the theming when you pull them down, and there's a place for everybody to sleep, and they're not uncomfortable, and it just kind of works. So,
yeah, they're way better. The hotel pull-out couch beds, 2 inches of mattress, that's not what you're having here with the couch. It isn't really a pull down, it's a Murphy bed couch, which is hard to explain, but pulls down and you have a full size mattress, and it's full comfort as well to go with it.
So we Instacarted groceries so we can make breakfast in the room, and then we had lunch and dinner outside, obviously. But the day we got off the boat, our plan originally had been to go to Blizzard Beach because now this year when you check in, the day of check-in, you get entry into one of the water parks included. And so I had booked a polar patio and stuff for us to have kind of a place to hang out. And as the forecast got closer and closer, it became apparent it was not going to be water park weather. I think the high was 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is cold. It was cold. So we did not go in the pool. We did not go to Blizzard Beach. We ended up going over to Disney Springs for lunch. We had lunch at Earl's after kind of walking around.
Yeah.
And then we did go and play mini golf at Winter Wonderland. That's what the name is. We played mini golf. And we've never done this. I'd never been to the mini golf courses at Disney World. They included a round of mini golf with the package that we had gotten. So that was kind of fun. So it was included here again.
It wasn't free, but it was included.
It was included. And it was really fun. It was, again, not crowded. Now, I've heard it can be quite crowded and that reservations can be recommended. So I could see where you would I might make those next time if we had a plan to do it. Mm-hmm. It was fine. We walked in. Nobody else wanted to be outside. It was cold and it was windy and it was Christmas themed, which was kind of funny because it felt like Christmas.
Right.
It was cold.
They have 2 courses. One's winter
and one's
summer.
Yeah.
And so there were quite a few people over on the summer side, so we chose the winter, and there was nobody else on our side.
It was really fun. The cute theming.
Yeah.
Here and there, Mickey Mouse, but mostly like Christmas.
Santa, elves.
Santa and the elves. And the kids just got a real kick out of it. And it was a great way to spend an hour and 15 minutes. So my parents joined us for this part of the trip. They had a car. So they drove over, but we did Uber back and forth.
Yeah, because we couldn't fit all in there.
There's no way otherwise to get there. So that was, what it was. It was fine.
It would have been nice if there was some way we could have done a shuttle there, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. In theory, you could take a bus to Blizzard Beach and walk to that one. That could work.
But were those even running? Cause
I don't know that they were running, though, because I'm pretty sure they closed the water park.
Yeah, because the parking lot, you could see into the parking lot, and it looked empty.
Yeah,
if they were open, there weren't any people there.
There was nobody going on, yeah.
I mean, it barely looked like there was any staff parked there. So
yeah. But I would recommend, like, if you have a day that you're not going to the theme parks, it's a fun thing to do for an hour. I would give it 2 thumbs up. I don't know. Would I pay $20 a person for it? Probably not. But a lot of the packages you book come with a free round of mini golf if you book a room in a package, a room and ticket stay, which a lot of people do. So if that is the case, like, I'd highly recommend just doing it. It's if you're a day without something to do, like if you're taking a resort day, it was just nice to get out and have some fun,
do something different. And it was very low key, relaxed.
Yeah. It was cool. So, and then we had dinner at Splitsville, which was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do it again. Well, so I had forgotten how large Disney Springs is. Like, in my head, it's big, but it's really, really big.
It's really big.
Yeah. It was a bit of we took the boat from Saratoga, and it was cold. It was too far
and
away.
The boat dock was on the opposite end of the entire Disney Springs. So it was a lot of walking. I was still recovering from my ankle injury. Your dad had an ankle injury. So, like, it just ended up all kind of
it was
being
not
a
the
lot.
best. Yeah.
But
food was good, though. People were
food was
happier
good.
after we left and we got on. We did take the bus back, and that was a better choice.
That was much closer to Splitsville.
Yeah, so that's a pro tip right there.
Yeah, be thoughtful, I guess. Look at Disney Springs about where you're trying to get to, and then
choose
plan
your
transportation
accordingly. Better than I did. So, but our next day, I would like to say, so Disney has now implemented, if you're staying on resort property, you can purchase your Lightning Lane multi-pass up to 7 days prior to the start of your resort stay. So we checked in on a Friday, which meant I could buy Lightning Lane passes the Friday before, but we didn't actually go into the parks until Saturday. So I had an 8-day jump on it, essentially. And when you're doing it, you think, like, really? Is this going to be worth it? Am I doing the right thing? Because you're essentially adding money.
It adds to the cost.
It adds us fair. And with 5 of us, and then with 2 of the days, we had 7 of us. So it added up quickly.
Yep.
So it was amazing. I liked it even better than Disneyland. Like, so I kind of done a little bit of research about what people were doing to be successful. And I think, like, it's important to know we are not great at getting up early. It's just not what we like to do. And my kids like to have pancakes for breakfast. And so I make them pancakes on vacation, So we're not out the door before 10 o'clock, but I made our first Lightning Lane reservations for like 10:30, 11:30, and 12:30. And that was really successful. And I was able to kind of plan out where we were going to go and what we were going to do and try to keep it in a semi-logical order, I guess, because we booked it 7 days out. So we did Animal Kingdom the first day, Epcot the second, and then Magic Kingdom the third, just the 5 of us. And I also paid for Animal Kingdom, we also paid ahead for Avatar, Flight of Passage. And it just was a great thing. Like, it was, I know that I did not have to pay the money that day, so I probably just had
it's free at
distance.
That point.
But like, there's something about flying all the way across the country, showing up and just having it work. Like you didn't have to, I don't know. It wasn't, we just were talking to somebody this morning about their last Disney World trip and how like they just couldn't get it figured out with the lightning lane and the thing. And then she's like, I just gave up and we went home. I was like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like that's not what it's supposed to be.
But I suspect it's not uncommon.
No, I'm sure it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it worked really, really, really well. I just loved it. I did not feel like we didn't really wait in any lines. And as soon as you use one, you can book the next one. So you're always holding 3
if you
lightning lanes.
If you're lucky, you can.
Yeah. And who knows? This can vary from time of year, I'm sure. Like this is one experience, but I felt like we were able to do everything we wanted to do. Now, Epcot, we're going to circle back to that in a minute because I think there were going to be some issues with that. But Animal Kingdom, like if you pick Kilimanjaro Safaris, which you're going to pick, and then like either Nemo or Lion King, you're going to pick a show, you're going to pick the safari, and then you're going to pick one other thing to ride. So we picked Navii River Cruise, which I think is lame, but my kids love it, so whatever. But we did everything without ever having to stress. Like it was very relaxing.
Yep.
And especially with having my parents in tow, like having paid the money to just not have to stand in a 30 to 80 minute line, it just made it a vacation instead of a like day at a theme park.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of question. Well, what do you want to do next? Because
that's a good point.
You knew it was. Yeah. This is what's happening next, I think there was a few times where it's like, well, I don't want to do that next, but it's like, all right, well, you don't have to do that, but that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
so you can wait at the exit or not. But
it was just nice, like, and some of it is Animal Kingdom just is not that big of a park. And I felt this definitely across all 3 days. There's not as many attractions in Disney World as there is in Disneyland between like if you add up all the parks versus the 2 parks. I think the attraction list is similar in size, but each individual park in Florida has less attractions than the California parks. Is that right? Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, there's more in Disneyland, but they're just spread across the 4 parks.
Yeah. So, I didn't feel as overwhelmed at trying to get everybody to everything. Like it just was a nice pace. It did not feel overwhelming, which was great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do feel like we skipped a bunch of things.
Sure. That's fair. That's a good point.
Like, because we were just kind of going A to B to C to D.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't necessarily a lot of time for just
exploring. Like, we did not do the Dino Bone exploration thing in the dinosaur land. And since we've been back, Drew's like, I saw this video with dinosaur bones.
Is that still open?
Yeah.
Because I know a bunch of that stuff's closed.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Like, yeah, about that. But that's okay.
But yeah, I mean, and I don't know, you were saying you wanted to go back to Epcot, but like in Epcot, we zoomed, like I skipped Canada and England.
There was
the UK
some trouble in Epcot, which we will circle back to.
Yeah. So we skipped a bunch of stuff in Epcot.
We did. We ran out of time.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like we would Epcot like probably is a 2-day park.
Yeah.
At least the way we do it.
Yeah.
And we had 1 day, so it's just the way it goes.
Yeah. But Animal Kingdom, great.
Yeah.
And we did not do everything. Like we didn't do the Tiger Trail. We didn't do Rafiki's Planet Watch, which the kids would like. So when we go back, we'll do maybe the other half of we did. I think there's room to do the other half of the things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Rafiki's a good. Yeah, I kind of even forgot about that, but that's a worthwhile.
I know.
Thing.
We're gonna
Just
put that on the list. Yeah. But we did eat at Tusker House. You know, that's so we have liked Tusker House in the past. The last time we were there, everyone finished and they were like, that was great. Now, this time around, I'm like, I don't know if I would go back. It was not. It's going to be a little bit before I book Tusker House again.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was not as good as it was last time we went. Yeah. And so it was just kind of like I guess it was just a little bit more meh this time.
It was a little meh. The characters were good. They did a nice job.
Service was fine. Like, it was
fine.
Good, but
yeah. It was fine for being a $75 a piece meal.
Yeah.
And so it probably was worth a $50 a piece meal, which I know that scheme between the two is not great, but enough that I felt like, I don't know. So we'll see. But anything else you want to say about Animal Kingdom?
No, I don't think I have anything else on Animal Kingdom. We got to see go on It's So Tough to Be a Bug kind of for the last time, and you could tell had not been cared for
properly. Kids were like, what do you mean the bugs? Like there was no like stingers. There was no bugs coming across your seat. Like it was odd.
It was clearly, like obviously it's going to be replaced soon. And so they just aren't fixing things, which makes sense. I mean, I guess I don't blame them. It just was a little sad.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm glad we saw it.
Yeah.
I do think it's a fun, but it shows its age. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Animal Kingdom, very good. We did go to Epcot the next day. So this was the day of the Princess Marathon, which we knew, but this is when we were there. And we were not there for that. It's just coincidence. There was a little bit of an issue, and I know this happens with the marathon, like they finish and it doesn't all finish quite like they need it to or want to. So it's hard to clear the parking lot. Like you end up, things just get backed up. Like it doesn't take long for 5 minutes to just turn into an hour of cleaning up corrals and cleaning up this and that. And, long story short, the buses were not, we were going to get on a bus to go to Epcot the next morning, and it just kept getting delayed. Yeah, the time, arrival time kept getting pushed 10, 20 minutes. Yeah. So we had left at 10 o'clock, I think, maybe 9:30 probably out of the room. And it just was not going to happen. And one of the other people was like, well, you could go to Studios and get on the gondolas. We're like, sure, let's do it. That'll at least be... the kids feel like that's still an attraction, yada, yada, yada. So we do that through a series of events. It takes a long time. We have multiple bathroom stops. Nobody could get on the same schedule.
And you had to transfer and stuff.
Yeah,
so
it just took another hour.
Yeah.
Which was fine. People were not unhappy about it.
Yeah, I think everybody was actually in pretty good spirits about the whole thing. They weren't really complaining about it.
They kept stopping. It was just oh, all right, this is how it is today. So we didn't get to International Gateway till maybe 11:15. Does that sound right? And I had planned our lightning lanes to be Spaceship Earth, Finding Nemo, and then we were going to come out to go to Remy, which kind of made some sense, right? I figured, okay, we'll go front of the park, and then we'll head back to France, and we can kind of meander. Well, we missed the Spaceship Earth one. We ended up going into Nemo, which then broke down. So it took 45 minutes to get through Nemo. And then you have the aquarium afterwards. And so then you had to sprint to Remy. And in the meantime, David decided, I'm going to do it. I'm going to upgrade my ticket to an annual pass. Because that's how the Braylons roll.
Well, yeah, I mean... we had the park tickets already, and then the incremental cost for that, minus discounts and stuff, it seemed like it would make sense. And if we're gonna go on another cruise, and we do any park visits before or after, it's gonna make
pay
sense
for itself.
So.
And then I started looking at Thanksgiving, and I was like, I think that we can actually come back to Disney World for the same price of what we can go to Disneyland. So that's a possibility too. But Dave ended up having to go from International Gateway. He had to go back to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, because there were no more, because of the race, there were no more reservations because AP still have to do reservations at Epcot. So I had to, they said, well, you can go to Magic Kingdom or you could go to Hollywood Studios, scan in and come right back. And I'm like, well, I think Hollywood Studios probably makes more sense because it's just over there.
Yeah. You took a boat, right?
Yeah, I took the boat. That was their recommendation.
I can see that.
And the boat was just getting ready to leave. And so I jumped on it. It's a little slow because it stops at 3 different hotels along the way, each way.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're skipping them on one way or the other, but
But it's not going to stop in the air too.
It's not going to stop in the air, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a little slow. I mean, it took me about, I think, an hour to buy it, get to Hollywood Studios, and then like I just missed getting back on the boat that I had gotten off
really?
on. And then it's, they say it's 20 minutes for the next boat. Thankfully, it ended up being like 8 minutes or something for the next boat. But yeah, I almost made it back in time.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It was that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine. So we did Remy, which again, like stopped multiple times, which I feel like kind of takes away from the whole thing of Remy. Like if it's not,
and it ended up being out of sync or something.
It was not great, which was sad because I was excited for the kids and stuff to ride it. And then we got crepes afterwards. They were not awesome. It was unfortunate.
No, it was a crepe counter.
Yeah. And so that was a little bit sad. We just struggled to get it. I felt like our Epcot day got really bumpy.
Yeah, we just didn't find that groove.
Yeah, we did not find
until ways in, I think.
The rhythm well. But we did stop. Then we made it to Tokyo, to Japan, and we wanted to see the drummers since our oldest is very into percussion these days. She really wanted to see that, so that was a highlight. I think the kids liked the store there. That itself felt like a tourist attraction to them because they're all into all the things Japanese.
Yeah,
I'm like
anime and stuff like that.
The food, anime, any of it, like they were in. So that was a positive. We made him sit through the American Adventure.
Emma was not.
She was not happy. In retrospect, I should not have pushed that. I thought like this will be good. We should all do this. So I don't know. It feels very Epcot to me, and like I don't know. Like Drew keeps talking to me about it. Well, which one came home from the war, Mom? The blue one or the gray one? I can't remember. And he got hit by a cannonball. That's right, Mom. Hit by a cannonball. Yes.
It's so random.
I know it.
Good for him. Yeah, he got it. Yeah. Emma just was not in the mood for that. I don't know. She wanted to do something else. She didn't want to do that. She didn't know what she wanted to do, but she just didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It is what it is.
So then we rolled around to Frozen, which we had ended up with some complimentary lightning lanes due to another issue that ended up being great for us that we had all these extra lightning lanes. There's really no way we could have ridden Remy and Frozen without having been gifted these lightning lanes. So I think that's a real challenge for Epcot. Like you kind of have to pick. You're going to get on. If you stay all day, you're going to be able to do Nemo. You're going to be able to do Living with the Land. Even Soarin' did not have a long wait. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, that was kind of the shorter line that I've seen.
To get Disneyland is never that easy.
Yeah. But even at Disney World, I feel like it's usually longer than that.
Yeah. And I realize you have to walk down into the building for it, but so the kids were funny about it because we asked them, well, if we come back, like which one would you pick? Would you pick Frozen or Remy? And unanimously, they all said Frozen, which I found interesting. They all thought that ride was better.
Yeah.
I don't know either. But
sadly, the Grand Fiesta Tour was closed.
It's going to be open, though, the next time I go.
It better be.
It better be. And then the lines were very long for food and bathrooms at Epcot, and that made it challenging. And it was Festival of the Arts.
Yeah, it was like the last day, or at least the last
weekend.
Second to last day. It was the last weekend for sure. And you had the race. So like it was kind of, there was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. And that made it a little bit.
And it was a holiday week for some people as well.
Yeah. It made it challenging. This was easily our most challenging day. Like it was bumpy. It was hard to accomplish everything. People were tired. We only went around World Showcase one time, so I didn't feel like we did an exorbitant amount of walking, but it was a challenge. Like we barely made it on Spaceship Earth, and that was something that was important to the kids. So we got on there at like 8:55 at night, 5 minutes before the park closed, and with like no time to shop, no time to do anything. So we sent Dave in to go shopping for us since he had the annual
with my
pass.
discount.
But Yeah, it just was sad because I do enjoy Epcot. It's traditionally been my favorite park over there. I feel like it can be very relaxing, and you get a chance to kind of get a lot of different things, but it seemed to be just not the best day for us to do it all. So it was fine. We did what we came for, I guess, but there wasn't necessarily any magical surprises, which I felt like was kind of a bummer.
Dinner was good at San Angel Inn.
That's true. We did enjoy it. That margarita is still great. Cannot disappoint with the margarita. And everybody ate there. Like, people enjoyed it. So that was good. Did not stay for the nighttime show because, again, we were trying to do all the attractions and fit that in, but it did not go.
Yeah, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
It was just, that was the way this trip was going to be.
That's the way it was going to be. So then we got up and we went to the Magic Kingdom. This day was also an adventure, but a different kind of... Rain had been in the forecast.
Yes.
Rain had been... And you had packed a rain jacket.
But I was the only one.
You were the only one who packed a rain jacket. And I thought, like, I just ran out of room. I'll be real honest. Like, it just got to the point because we were doing the cruise in Disney World. Like, it just was too much. I could not fit one more thing. So we get on the buses and it's gray and cloudy, but not raining. And by the time we get off the bus, it is like pouring rain.
Buckets. Just buckets.
It's so funny. So I don't know how nobody complained, but they all just kept going. Like, they just kept following us. And like, so we go through the security detector, you go through, and you have to get it into the park, I think, even before you can buy a poncho. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, it was like I don't know what they call it. It was like the little news.
Yeah.
I mean, at Disneyland, it's the newsstand. I don't know what they would call this, but it's right next to the, off to the right before the tunnels, before you go under there was a little shop.
Yeah.
And I quick ran in there because I saw they were selling them and bought a handful.
So we bought everybody a poncho. It's like, see, this annual pass is paying off.
Because I got a discount on it.
Yeah, a discount on those. And they were, I mean, it was less than $50 for the whole family, which I felt like, that's actually pretty good. I somehow remember them being more. So they did not make it more than one day. Those ponchos
those
were
are one day ponchos
at the end of the day. But everybody got their poncho on and we were off.
Yep.
So not a lot of pictures.
What else did we do for the strollers? Do you remember what we did?
Oh, we should. Yeah. So
when we were waiting for the shuttle to get from Saratoga, there was a trash can with a roll of trash bags just sitting on it, which I think was someone, I don't know if it's custodial or something, but probably left them there because they're the race people oftentimes will wear something like that to keep warm before a race in the crowds.
Yeah.
There was going to be raining. So it kind of felt like a nod of somebody left those for people to use. And so we grabbed a couple and we put them over the strollers to keep the strollers dry because we rented strollers, 2 strollers, which is one more than we should have to get, but we did have to get 2 strollers.
It's true.
We tried a double stroller
the first day in Animal Kingdom.
And that was not successful.
Oh, it was not successful at all. All the fighting and they're 9 and 5, and they're the 9-year-old is too big for a stroller, but she's also a wimp, and so we want to have a good time, so we shove her butt in a stroller so that we can enjoy ourselves. And she does not fit, but is apparently not as uncomfortable as walking.
Did you hear that there was one person that was like, oh, big kids can fit in those too? That's good to know. There was somebody that said that. I was like, I don't know if they're being sarcastic or if they're just judging or what, but I don't care because I'm going to get from A to B much faster than if I didn't do this. So this is what we're doing.
100%. That's so funny. Yeah. And it was a good move. So we just ripped a little hole in them and put the handlebars through, and
the trash bags kept them pretty dry. I mean, they're wearing ponchos that are wet and then getting into it, so there's still going to be wet in there, but it was mostly dry and would help keep them comfortable and dry while we're cruising to the next stop.
So I think the rain played a little bit in our favor of how great a day that we did have. We were able to ride essentially. Well, there's a couple of attractions we skipped. Like we did not do Peter Pan. There are things that we didn't do that we also have in California. So we kind of tried to do a lot of the things that are different. But we started at Haunted Mansion. We did Pirates. And then we had lunch at Pecos Spills, which was a great...
Yeah, we ended up finding a great spot way in the back, and like we had a ton of space around us. It was dry.
Easy
it was warm.
bathroom access.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It really was.
It was really the best spot. It was like way far away from where the food is, but
yeah,
I would happily sit there again.
It was great. It was. We just mobile ordered, and then when food was ready, we went and got it. And some of the kids wanted pretzels, so we went and got pretzels from the pretzel cart outside. Like it just worked as a good home base. So that was really nice. And having bathrooms inside of that was also very convenient.
Yeah.
So then we're like, it's pouring, just pouring. So you're trying to minimize your time outside, and so it's like we should go do the Country Bear Jamboree. And everyone's like, yeah, that's fine, except for the middle child who's like, no, I don't want to do the jamboree. No. So she's having a tantrum, and we're like, well, that's too bad. That's what we're doing. So we go into the waiting area for Country Bears, and she's still like having an all-out tantrum, somewhat publicly, I felt like stomping her foot.
Yeah, it was a little abnormal for how public she was being about it.
Yeah, like kind of making a thing about it. And so we end up going, and they've redone it since we've been in it. And it's all like pop songs or Disney songs, like very current, very, very different than what it used to be. And at dinner that night, we're talking about like, well, what was your favorite thing? And Emma goes, the Country Bear Jamboree. Of course it was. The one thing you insisted you did not want to do was your favorite. That adds up. But,
you got to trust us, kid.
I know.
Classic stuff.
So we did not buy, this is the only park I did not buy the individual lightning lanes in. So we had bought Cosmic Rewind. We need to revisit that.
Oh.
How did we skip over that?
I don't know.
We had bought Cosmic Rewind, which I had debated on because at that time you could still wake
It was like the second to last day of them doing it.
Doing virtual queue. But then I had this realization, like, what if we get all the way there and I don't get in virtual queue? Like, there's no way for me to then do it.
Yeah,
and
how do you fix it then?
And it turns out, like, I looked that day, you couldn't actually buy Lightning Lane for that day. You had to have bought it ahead of time if you wanted to ride it. So I was really, really, really glad that I had paid for us to ride Cosmic Rewind, because it was definitely my favorite attraction of the entire trip.
Everybody really enjoyed it.
It was so much fun. And I do not like Guardians of the Galaxy at all. I've never seen the movie because I always fall asleep. I find it
I mean, we've tried, but you fall asleep.
I just can't. It's just not entertaining enough for me. I have seen the Christmas one. I think it's kind of lame, but I've seen it. But that was a great attraction. I really enjoyed, like, just the unique sensation of being like, because it turns, it's not jerky, it's so smooth. And so yes, it's sort of like Space Mountain as a roller coaster, but also like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, in the sense that like you kind of get swung around as you're going up and down these, and it just is the oddest sensation without being terrifying. So it was really, really fun.
It was really good. Definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I would do it again, and I would pay for it again. That's the other thing I want to say.
Tells you something.
I mean, Dave's like, of course you would. But we did not pay for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which we ended up standing in line for.
Yeah, but it wasn't too bad.
But it wasn't terrible.
What was it, like 45?
45 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was worth it. The kids liked it.
That's a reasonable amount of time, I think.
Yeah. And then we did not ride Tron because it was really raining. And we just didn't make it a priority. That might be one for next time.
It was really raining too when we were over there.
It was. Kids loved the Tomorrowland Transit Authority.
There you
TTA.
go. People
Sorry.
mover.
People mover. Oh,
They liked Laugh Floor too.
they really thought Laugh 4 was funny.
That was another one I feel like they didn't want to do. I think it might have been Emma. I guess she did a lot of things she didn't want to do, but she ended up liking.
Yeah. So that was good. It just was a great day. Like,
it was.
it could have been disastrous.
You just had to kind of plow through it and just be like, well, this is what it is. There's nothing we can change about it. We're leaving tomorrow, so we just got to deal with it.
And if it had been Disneyland, I don't think we would have persevered. I think it would have been.
We would have called it quits earlier. Although, no, we've done it though. We've done that.
Yeah, we have.
For like remember that one Thanksgiving?
That's right, where we ate in the rain. Yes. I do remember that. But it was wet. Like when we got back, Andrew took off his shoes and his feet were like pruny from like being in a pool all day, but just in his tennis shoes and socks.
It wasn't great.
And we were supposed to go home the next day and I could not get everyone's shoes dry enough. They ended up going home in Crocs, which was fine, but it was soaking wet, but it was an adventure.
It was an adventure.
It was a good adventure. We ate at Plaza Inn. That was again great.
It's such a small. It's so weird, like that they'd have such a small restaurant there,
I know.
but it had it. Everybody ate. It was another one where everyone ate, and you got to know your family, but that's obviously an important thing. Is if there's something that everybody's going to eat. Yeah, and we were supposed to eat.
We were going to go to the Jungle Cruise.
The Jungle Skipper
Cantina, which I do enjoy, but after being gone for almost 2 weeks, like our family gets a little bit. Mm-hmm. They're just done being adventurous. They don't have any desire. They just want to eat what they know. And I think I was really concerned about Annika, the oldest. Just like I knew she was going to just be done with it. Yeah. And so we pivoted and went for the Plaza Inn instead. But
and it was good. Everybody's happy.
It was a great trip.
It was a great trip. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I have any revelations necessarily, other than to say,
Cosmic Rewind's awesome.
Cosmic Rewind is awesome. I really enjoy the DVC properties a lot, and I know they've added at Disneyland, but the price point is just like to pay cash. The price point is just so high for Disneyland to stay in a suite.
Because we got 5 people and like we could squeeze in before, and technically we still could, but as Drew's getting bigger and Emma's getting bigger and Annika's getting bigger, like they're all getting bigger. They take up more space. They need more space. Like, it becomes a lot to all squeeze into a normal hotel room for.
I know. So this is nice because there's room to spread out. There's room for people to eat. There's a dining table.
Comfortable beds.
Comfortable beds. It's quiet.
Yes.
Like that's the other thing I really like about both Saratoga and Old Key West is it's not because it's built like condo style. You don't really hear anything. Like it's just quiet. So that's
even like walking to the bus stop. Like oftentimes we would never see another person.
I know.
Like,
I mean, there's people on the bus.
Yeah, there's people on the bus, but like walking along the way, there's nobody else. Like it's just dead. It's quiet, but there's tons of cars in the parking lot. So there's somewhere, but it's not the sea of people that are around you. Even though there's a lot of rooms right there, but and it's always I do like you have access to the bus and you have access to the boats. Yep. So like you kind of have multiple ways to get places.
And we've had just great luck with the buses. I know we had an issue with Epcot, but I don't feel like.
Yeah, we have friends who have really bad luck with buses, but for some reason it always works well for us. Like, we really don't have complaints for it.
No. And I love not putting kids in cars. So it's a highlight. It was good. I can't wait to go back. I have very different feelings about, like, I love Disneyland. It's great. It's a lot better when you don't have small kids. I think just having the broad boulevards of Disney World, there's a lot more room to push a stroller. There's a lot more room to kind of maneuver around. And it's more walking, but you're not like, feels like less starts and stops, I guess.
Well, some of it is you're taking all of the, a less number of attractions and then splitting it across 4 parks.
Yeah.
So like there are less
that's
starts
exactly
and stops,
what
right?
I'm trying to say is it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
As the mom, I find it
Yeah.
easier.
There's less that you can do in a day.
Yeah. But that manages everyone's expectations.
Totally.
So I don't know. It was a great trip. It was 100% worth it. I did say before we left, I'll never do this again, where we go on a cruise and go to Disney World afterwards.
She's already breaking that.
But we're going to do it again.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna. Ironically, I don't think it's gonna happen this next time. But I do kind of wonder if I want to try park before the cruise.
I do too,
because I think some of it is like if you can, go in the parks and then go on the cruise and then just relax and mellow out instead of the other way where you relax and mellow and like although you might still you've had fun and done stuff, but like then jumping into the park life and then jumping back into the real world, like it's kind of.
It is a little, yeah, it is. But it was smart to take, like, I'm glad we didn't go directly from the cruise to the parks. I think that was a good move to just take a day because people were tired after having to get up early. And it took off some of the pressure of like, it would have been a great day. It's too bad it wasn't warm. It would have been a good day to go to the water park.
For sure.
Even if it was only to float around the lazy river. Like when it's included, you can just go in the lazy river and not be upset about that.
Yeah, we could have gone for 3-4 hours and been
called
fine.
it good, yeah. Or even just play in the pools at the resort. But that wasn't our luck this time around. So maybe next time.
Yeah, I think there was maybe one person in the pool when we walked past it. So like it was not a thing. It wasn't just us being wimpy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else that we should share about our journey,
Disney World?
adventure?
No, it's worth it. That's what I think. It's worth it.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I guess that brings us to our magical moments.
Indeed.
What is yours?
Well, I guess I'll take it from our trip still. So we sent Dave into to go shopping without anybody at Epcot. And he came back with 2 Epcot Spirit jerseys for me. And I had an Epcot Spirit jersey that I somehow lost. I think I left it in a drawer somewhere when we went on vacation. And it was white, which I loved. But it was white. And so anytime you cook or eat or anything, it's inevitably got stuff on it. And now I have a bright blue Epcot jersey and a black one, which is even better because that doesn't show any of the disasters that end up on me. And I love them. And I was not there to debate between the two. And so I got both, which I guess is a bit magical.
Well, because you were like, well, if they don't have this one, get
this one.
If they don't have the black one, get the blue one or something like that. And so I was like, well, I found both. I'll just get both. So I got both for her.
You are good to me.
I was thinking about the fact that she lost her other one, so it was sad. And now she can have 2 Epcot ones, and they're both pretty cool.
They are cool. How about you?
Well, I got them for my birthday in September, but I finally put on my Stormtrooper license plate frames yesterday on the car, and now it's all starting to take shape. I still need to put stickers on that were part of the birthday gift, but finally making some progress on there, and so it looks cool.
It does. Your daughter's excited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's fun. I'm trying to make my white car into a Stormtrooper theme or Star Wars theme at least. So
very cool.
Making progress on that. All right. Well, that is our magical moments, and you should all go make your own magical moments in your day and make magical moments for those around you. You can email us at mouseearsinparadise@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on social media and leave us comments and feedback there as well if you wish. We definitely appreciate everybody that reaches out. It's great to hear from you. So thank you for all that have. All right, I think that's everything. So have a wonderful week.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Applause. Applause. We hope you've all enjoyed the show.